I've left myself 20 yards short of the green, want to play a little low one that fizzes. This is a game changer. If you can't do this in your golf game, then you're holding yourself back. Stan Utley talked about this. Stan's coached on tour. If you know who Stan Utley is, then you know your stuff. We're going to do this. We're going to hit a few short ones, little ones that fly about the place with a little bit of spin, but we're keeping the trajectory down. Trajectory down. Trajectory. Struggle with that. If you've watched this channel over the years, you'll know I struggle with that word. Right, so left myself. I don't want to be flying the ball high all the time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. 14 yards, 15 yards let's say, to the front edge of the green. There's probably another 15 to the pin, so there's lots of room to work with. Now I want to keep this down and get a little bit of check on it. So what do I do? Well, I don't help the ball in the air, definitely not. Stan Utley talked about forearms, getting the forearms to turn over through impact. Now that's brilliant, because when the trail forearm turns down, not over, but down, trail forearm turns down, then we're taking the loft off. If it's down, I've taken that loft off, I've de-lofted the golf club. I've not closed it to the left, but I've de-lofted it. And I've talked in the past about Homer Kelly's release patterns. So if I incorporate the two, if I get the forearm to turn down there, and then finish with the club face rolled over, what's called a full roll, so the leading edge is at vertical, then I've taken loft off and released it. So if I've taken loft off and released, so I've taken loft off with Stan Utley, and I've released a full roll, so I've taken loft off and released it, then I'm going to get it coming in a little bit lower, a little bit more fizzy. So feel that action, but in doing that action, watch what happens with the body. The body will keep moving. The body has to rotate open. The body has to turn towards target to make it work. Also watch setup. So watch setup as well. So body opens, setup, clubs up. So I'm playing it more from the front of the club, the nose of the club, the toe of the club, there. Utley, open. Utley's forearm, full roll of the club. So I'm there carrying it 20 yards. Okay, so that had loads of spin on it, never carried it far enough, but you can see how low it came out. You know, it was fizzing all the way. Let's get one up there. I should maybe have practiced this before I did the video. Let's just hit one to get the feel. Yes. Yeah, that's it. So that's good. Okay. So got the feel for that, but closed the face over just a fraction. So nose up, or heel of the club off the ground. Right forearm comes round. Fraser Mann talked about the right arm. Fraser Mann, Scotland's #1, or one of the best short game players in the country. He talks about your right hand's closest to the club head, so it has more control. And he talked about practicing with just the right arm only. So I guess that in Stan Utley's findings are the same thing. I've carried that again a yard too short. I'm going to get these balls back and do it again, don't worry. It's a one. There it is, fizzing up and checking up beside the hole. That was great. Think about Fraser Mann's right arm there, and up and getting that up there. The major thing to feel is how the shaft stays upright. Okay, so I feel it when I come down and Stan Utley's forearm is turning over. I feel as though the handle has to be high for that. So it's not, if I'm wanting loft on, I'm swinging more around. So if I want loft on, I'm swinging much more around to get the ball up. I'm there more upright to keep the trajectory down, to keep it low. Yeah, so Fraser Mann's findings with the right hand closest to the club for control. Homer Kelly's full roll and Stan Utley's forearm, and you put all that together, you've got a combination that's pretty handy. But you want that shot in golf. You want to be able to just play it like, I'm always 1 yard short with that. You want to be able to play it so that it doesn't come out firing. You want it coming out low and being able to control it. Absolutely. Absolutely, on every shot, there, and you just know of that roll and that de-lofting. The de-lofting is a forward shaft lean, not a closing of the face. You know it's coming out pretty fizzy. pretty low and understandably easier to control. So if we wander up here now and have a look to see the outcome of those. Now they weren't my best strikes because I wasn't practicing before the instruction, but you can see the one that came up short, that landed a yard short of the green, is here, but the rest, they're good. So I was 30 yards away, okay, so 90 feet away, and the furthest putt I have is probably the one to the right here, which is about 8 feet. And that's the first attempt of trying a new technique, and that's pretty good. That's another thing. Think about expectations. You can't expect to be brilliant straight away when you try something new. So yeah, I mean, I found it hard to carry the distance because it was so much loft was taken off the golf club. That's what we've got to do. We've got to experiment. We've got to get out there and just get a set of nuts and grab them and go for it, you know. I've brought myself a little bit closer to the green here just to work on the action a little bit easier. Because I know, it's a great shot, because I know I'm going to do this from further out. I'm going to do this from 40 yards. You know, I've just done it there from 30. But smaller motions off the upslope is not a great idea. But smaller motions to feel how the right forearm works, how the shaft leans forward, how the heel of the club does not interact with the ground. I mean, look at those. They're handy.